The desert wind moved softly through the Palo Verde trees, stirring the ribbons tied along the iron fence outside the small adobe house on the edge of Tucson. Candles flickered despite the daylight, their wax pooling in quiet surrender beneath photographs taped carefully to poster board. In every image, Nancy Guthrie's smile seemed to glow with its own light, bright, generous, impossibly alive. It had been 30 days. 30 days since the morning when the world shifted on its axis for Savannah Guthrie. Savannah stood at the gate now, her fingers curled around a bundle of yellow flowers. Beside her, her sister Annie held her other hand, and Annie's husband, Tommaso Cioni, locked arms with them both. The three of them paused before stepping forward, as though crossing some invisible line between hope and heartbreak. The memorial had grown over the past month. What had begun as a single bouquet from a neighbor had transformed into something larger, a testament to the quiet power of community. Handwritten notes layered atop one another. "We're praying for you. Bring her home. The Tucson community stands with you." A large sign leaned against the fence. "Dear Guthrie family, your neighbors stand with you." Savannah felt Annie's hand tremble. "She would hate all this fuss," Annie whispered, her voice cracking. Savannah managed a small smile. She'd bring lemonade out to everyone and tell them to stop making such a spectacle. They stepped forward together and laid the yellow flowers among the others. Yellow had always been Nancy's color, the shade of desert wildflowers that bloomed stubbornly after monsoon rains. Nancy used to say yellow was proof that even the harshest landscapes could produce beauty. The cameras were there, of course, at a respectful distance, but there. Savannah had grown accustomed to cameras decades ago. She had built her career in front of them, delivering morning headlines with calm authority on today. She knew how to hold composure, how to steady her voice. But nothing had prepared her for this. 1 month earlier, on the morning of February 1st, Savannah's phone had buzzed before dawn. Annie's name flashed across the screen. That alone had been enough to spark unease. Annie rarely called so early. "Savannah," Annie had said, her breath ragged. "Mom's gone."
Gone.
At first, Savannah thought Annie meant gone to the hospital. Gone to a neighbor's house. Gone for one of her restless midnight walks that she sometimes took when sleep wouldn't come.
But no.
Nancy's front door had been ajar. Her bed unslept in. Her purse still hanging on its hook by the door. The house carried a silence that felt wrong, like a held breath that never released. Police were called. Questions were asked. The word abduction entered the air like poison. Nancy Guthrie was 84 years old. She was strong in spirit but gentle in frame. She gardened daily. She sang hymns while washing dishes. She never locked her doors during the day because, as she often said, "Fear doesn't get to run my life." Savannah had boarded the first flight she could find to Arizona. She remembered staring out the airplane window at the expanse of desert below, thinking how small everything looked from above, how fragile. Now, 30 days later, she stood before her mother's house again, unable to reconcile the warmth of memory with the cold uncertainty of the present. "We feel the love and prayers," Savannah had written on Instagram that morning, alongside a photo of the memorial. "From our neighbors, from the Tucson community, from around the country. Please don't stop praying and hoping with us. Bring her home." The post had flooded with responses within minutes. Strangers promising rosaries. Church groups organizing vigils. Mothers writing that they could not imagine the ache. Savannah appreciated every word. She read them late at night when sleep refused to come. But prayer lived alongside something else now, a quiet, creeping acceptance. A week earlier, she had posted a video that felt like surrender. Sitting alone in a dimly lit room, eyes rimmed red, she had spoken softly to the camera. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves, Savannah had said. She may be dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad, with her beloved brother Pierce, and with our daddy. The words had cost her something. They felt like letting go of a rope she had been gripping with bleeding hands. Annie bent to straighten one of the photographs at the memorial. Nancy in her garden, wearing a wide-brimmed hat and laughing at something outside the frame. She was so excited about spring, Annie murmured. Savannah nodded. She said the roses would be the best they've ever been. Tommaso squeezed both their shoulders. He had been the steady one this past month, organizing search volunteers, speaking with investigators, answering calls when Savannah could not. The investigation had stretched across the desert and beyond. Search teams combed dry riverbeds. Helicopters swept overhead. Leads surfaced and dissolved. Each tip brought a jolt of adrenaline, followed by the crushing weight of disappointment. 30 days. The number echoed like a drumbeat. Savannah closed her eyes and let the sounds of the neighborhood wash over her. A dog barking in the distance. Wind chimes clinking. The faint hum of traffic. Life continuing. She remembered being a little girl in this very yard, skin sun-warmed, chasing Annie with a garden hose. Nancy had stood on the porch laughing, pretending to scold them for wasting water. Joy is never a waste, Nancy would say. Savannah had built her life around words, around asking questions, uncovering truths, demanding answers. Yet now she found herself in the unbearable position of waiting. Waiting for a phone call. Waiting for news. Waiting for a miracle. She stepped closer to the fence and pressed her palm flat against the cool metal. "Mom," she whispered, so softly no one else could hear. "If you can hear me, hold on." Behind her, Annie began to cry quietly. Tommaso wrapped an arm around her. Savannah turned and pulled them both into an embrace. The three of them stood like that for a long moment, framed by flowers and photographs and handwritten prayers. Reporters captured the image, siblings bound together in grief beneath an Arizona sky that stretched endlessly above them. Later, back inside the house.
Bad news, Walker, but we got to talk about this. You recently just had your driver's test. How did it go?
You talked to my mom about this?
Yes.
I didn't talk to your mom.
Just so you know,
about this.
all we moms talk to each other. Yes.
Oh no. Yeah, I did. I think that I don't think you should have to parallel park on your test. I think it's just stupid.
I agree.
I agree.
No, I agree.
Is
But you
it-
passed the writing portion, yes?
Oh yeah, I did the writing
Okay,
portion
that's the
great,
hardest part.
and I was on the line a little bit for parallel parking, so.
Did you hit a cone?
No, I didn't. I'm still mad about this.
What state did you take this driver's test in?
PA.
Historically, they have the worst drivers in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
PA, what are you doing? Give the kid a break.
By the way, for the record, most cars now parallel park themselves.
That's right.
You just hit that button and it just sort of backs in.
I need to get one of those.
Are you going to retake it, or do you have time to retake it?
Well, that was the first time I went home. I started filming back in the beginning of August.
Okay.
And I hadn't been home since the middle of July.
Uh-huh.
And I've been wanting I had dreams about getting my driver's license.
Yeah.
While we were working for the last 9 months. And then, there was a couple days where I wasn't working and they ended up being close to the weekend. So I ended up getting to go home for the first time in I don't know, however many months. And, this was I was freaking out about this. I couldn't sleep. And then I got there and you drive around the block and then
Sure.
you parallel park and then it was on the line and then I failed immediately.
Walker, what you need to do is get with the transpo guys on set.
Yeah.
In between scenes,
Yes.
show me how to parallel park. It's a science.
Yes.
Once you get it, you can't unlearn it.